Hi guys, another toy grade radio control car down from the loft. The plan had been to demonstrate the simple hobby grade conversion, but when I checked the car over, there's a problem with the steering. I'll still show you the simple hobby grade conversion, but we will have to take the steering apart. This one originally cost me 95p in a charity shop, and it did have broken steering when I bought it. I had to repair that steering arm or steering linkage, which I did with 2-pack or 2-part epoxy and wrap some wire around it and all sorts. Nowadays I'd 3D print that, but that did work. But as I say, there's actually a problem with the gearing or something in there. So I'll take it apart anyway. You will see I had already done the conversion once. Don't know if there's a manufacturer's name on there at all. It looks very much like a New Bright, but it isn't. It's a similar sort of chassis layout. The gearbox is different. The New Bright, the battery compartment comes out like that. Not like that, but like that. So it's a very similar layout, but it isn't one. Right, what have I done to it in the past? I've taken the controller out, the receiver, and put JST connectors, female connectors, going directly to the motors. So the simple hobby grade conversion I was talking about, you need 2 ESCs. You preferably don't want ones that have the brake function on them. You certainly don't want the brake function for the one that does the steering, because the brake function means you go all the way to one direction, and then when you go to the other way, normally forwards and backwards, you go forwards, but if you try and slam it in reverse, the brake comes on rather than go in reverse. So when you're using it for left and right, that means you'd go left and then you couldn't go right, which is not very good if you're trying to steer with it. Anyway, that one does have a brake on it, so I'm putting that on the back wheels. That one doesn't have a brake, so that can go on the steering. Then we need a battery. This controller is one I picked up very cheap, well I say very cheap, relatively cheap on AliExpress. I've seen them other places, but it was a deal on AliExpress. You got a free, I say a free, you had an ESC in the bundle, so you had receiver, ESC and transmitter all in the bundle. Right, lights on. Turn that on. So we now have power. Yep, got power on both of these. Oh, to run it off one battery, I'm using a splitter to feed both ESCs off the one battery. Okay, so now throttle. And steering. That's where we have the problem. Sounds to me like gears have gone in there. So we'll power that off again. Unplug the battery to be safe. And we'll have a look at the steering. Right. Just get a magnet to catch all those screws. Okay, so that's my bit of repair work there. It seems to be holding together. Is it as simple as that is loose? No. Okay, looks like we've got to unscrew this to get it out. Right. Those are the ones that hold it in place. Just have a little look. They look like they're the same size screws, which is always handy. Right. We appear to be missing the spring that does the centering. But that looks like that's broken to me. No, it's not broken. Let's put the battery back on. I would think there should be a horseshoe shaped spring there. I say horseshoe, U-shaped, down there, round there, and back up there. Possibly. And then between there to... We'll have a look in there anyway, but I think I don't think there's a problem in there. I think the problem's we're missing a bit. Maybe I did something, took it all apart and never put it back together. It's quite possible. There's nice metal gear on there anyway, so that's not the problem. So that gear turns that one. Nothing's turning there. All right, let's take the next layer out. Yeah, there are broken teeth here. You see they're broken? I think we can. So something odd there. We're missing a bit, and we've got broken teeth anyway. So that gearbox is not going to do any good to anybody. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, it's vaguely possible I might have a replacement gear that we could replace that one with. Or we could just go ahead and do a proper hobby grade conversion with this, put a servo in there to do the steering. And that would probably be the sensible option. Yeah, we could rig up a servo to push that and have proper hobby grade. Well, when I say proper hobby grade, we're not talking Traxxas or anything like that. We are just talking getting this thing working again. Yeah, we just need to get something down there to push that side to side. Okay, we'll have a look, see what we've got. I'm rather thinking we might be able to get away with a lightweight servo rather than a big heavyweight one in there. Well, I've been studying this for a while now. This is the steering gearbox. And this is the bit that's important to us, the peg that sticks down and moves the steering arm down there. I was going to use a small metal gear servo, but I seem to have run out of them. So I was thinking, alright, I'll use one of these cheap plastic ones anyway, just to get it going. But the more I look at it, the more it would be easier to use one of these big servos. I've got a few of these that I bought for this sort of purpose. I don't think this is a heavy enough car to justify it, but the dimensions are similar. They're not identical. But I could rig up something to hold this in place, and that will fit in almost exactly the same slot. And if I was really lazy, that thing will actually jam over there. It won't be a particularly good fit. I'll be better off putting a proper servo arm that came with that on there, and then maybe putting a few screws through this to actually hold it in place. And then that would pop in there quite easily. So that's what I might do. This is one of the proper servo arms. Well, those are the servo arms. That's a servo disc, I suppose you could call it. Oh, nearly dropped it then. But if I chop those pegs off the back of there and fitted that over the top of there, say with a couple of little screws going through just to locate it and hold it still. And that goes on there. And that would be it. Fairly straightforward. Right, we're nowhere near finished. I'm just trying out the big servo in position. So we've got the basic principle that it could fit there, and it could do the job. I've 3D printed myself a little bracket, so that sits in there. It's not actually screwed in place as such, it's still free to move around. Rather than use that, I'm just using one of the servo's proper arms with a screw through it to replace the peg. I ought to put something on that so it isn't so rough, but for test purposes we'll do it like that. So that's going to go in there and line up with the that's not in place. Okay, that in there. That goes on there using the existing holes and pillars and the existing screws. right ones. I think so. Yeah, looks like that might work. We'll put it back together. Let's just see if we've got the drive motor the right way round. No, that's backwards. Throttle, reverse. Okay, we'll put the bits in there. This is only a temporary job, so I won't worry about the battery pack. I would bring it out under there and fit it in there, but we'll just check that it runs. That thing goes in there somehow. Right, we'll sort that out and then we'll try it. Right, let's see if it runs. I don't think those tyres have got any grip. So that's gone further than I intended to. We've got proper full proportional steering and full proportional throttle with a proper servo for the steering. So that'll do. Just in time for our midday snack. Well, to finish this off properly, I'll have to 3D print the battery cover because that's missing. But other than that, that'll do. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel. And down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.